Not every nail technician knows everything. Even me with 35 years experience, I want to learn a few new things. I'm going to try a new technique today. Join me. So I haven't top coated these yet. These are 6 new colors I've got, and I'm having fun playing with them. And I'm just trying this. Don't know if I like it yet. It looks really good with the top coat, but I wanted to wait to show you that. I've left one, and I'm going to try to show you what I've learned. And it is an interesting, what you're trying to do is straight lines on an imperfect round surface. That's harder than it looks. I would have thought it would be easier, but it's not. So this is what I've learned. First, I'm going to put my form on. Now, I'm doing a different shape today. I'm doing long and square. I thought I would do that today because it gives me much more nail estate. Okay, I've got my form on. For those of you who might be concerned, see that little gap there? It's totally cool. The form is below. I'm working with acrylic, so if you got your right bead and it's not running, we're going to keep it laid right across between the two. It's not going to seep in there. Okay, so I have seen people do this technique, and I've always wanted to try it. I never had a chance to try it. Can you imagine not getting a chance to just be creative? And that's what I want to do today. So I do have a thin layer of acrylic on here. Whenever I'm doing a color directly on the nail, I put a thin layer of something down first because I'm thinking forward when I want to file this off. When I want to file all that off, I've got to file down to a thin layer of product or I'm going to file through to my natural nail. And getting color or glitter off of that is terribly painstaking. So don't do that. Always do a nice thin layer. So that's what I have here, a previously thin layer of product. Okay, so I'm just trying to think. I've got my monomers ready to go. I'm just trying to think what design. I've done a few designs here, and it looks really kind of cool. I do have a knife to help me. That's sort of what you can do is use this little X-Acto knife. And that helps cut the color, so we'll try that too. So what I was doing was laying it down and just trying to do it, shaping it. And then you cut the edge off as you go. So I'm going to start with a big square in the center and see if I can square it up. Okay, I'm going to start with a big pink bead. Just put them right there and start shaping them. I do want it to be sitting there. I don't want it to run in any way. So it is a bit on the dry side, but I think he's going to be okay. Start to absorb within itself. So I'm going to keep it high. It's so interesting. I've practiced so hard so many years to do that French smile line. And this is the same kind of technique. It's just a different shape. So even though I can be really good at the smile line, I need to practice this to be good at making it square. I only make square on the end. And I use a hand file. I don't use square with this. So just keep it nice and high this way. That's what I mean when I say high. Keep it tall. Look at that. Like it's tall. It looks like a piece of gum on there.
Yeah, it looks like a chiclet.
It does, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. If you keep it high and keep the edges straight, then you get the edges nice and crisp. And then when you file the top off, I think when you file the top off, you'll see the color just sort of appears. That's pretty good. I'm going to see now if there's a certain time to cut this. I'm going to see if this will make a straighter edge. It's not bad, eh? But there's a sweet spot to cut that. If you cut it too late, this could be too late on this side. We'll see. Nope, that worked. You got to cut it late enough that it's nice and solid, that it comes off in one chunk and doesn't ruin the shape. So it's too late to cut these sides here. There's a little residue, but that's okay. We're going to cover that up. Okay, so that's not bad. And if I turn it sideways, you can see it's pretty tall, right? Okay, now I got to think of another one. That's cute. Okay, so let's do a purple one. Maybe we'll do a purple one over here. Now it is going to be a square nail. Now this one's a little bit runnier. It's not running by any means, but it's a little looser. So it's being a little bit more, not as resistant, it's not being as hard or stiff. I'm gonna bleed it right to the edge. This is where I'm having trouble in this little point right here. Keep it nice and straight. This is what I mean about doing square lines on a round surface. It's an interesting challenge. I'd love to get really good at it. Okay, so maybe, I don't know if it's too wet to bring in the knife, but let's do that. Sort of rolling it a bit. Oh, it's not too bad. It's a little soft, but that's not too bad. You do gotta clean your knife too on a paper towel. But then I look at it and it's a little bit, that'll file up on the side. Make sure that's nice and straight. I will tell you, I think this would be a lot easier doing this on another person. Cameraman.
Oh, I don't have big enough nails for that.
Yeah, you do. Your nails are nice and wide. It'd be perfect for something like this. You walked into that. If you're going to find an excuse, try to make sure it's foolproof, eh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so I think it's too late to cut this piece here. Yeah, it would be a lot easier to do it on another person than myself. Because I'll tell you the trouble I think I'm having, and I had, the trouble I had when I was doing it, it's really all about angles. So I'd like to look at it like this. So when you have a person, you're seeing it at that straight on angle. And this really is all about that. So we'll see how it turns out. But look at that. How cool is that? It's really neat. Do you find this as interesting as I do, Cameraman?
I like it. I like the geometric style.
Yeah. Like you can see, I did all these ones.
Mm-hmm. You're good.
Yeah. I guess sometimes you have an idea of what you think you want to accomplish and you think your skills are going to be able to do it. Hey, I've been doing this long enough. I should be able to do it. No problem. Eyes closed, right? Then I get down here and do it and it's like, it's a little trickier than I expected. But everything needs practice, especially when you're doing something so precision like this. So don't be hard on yourself. I feel like I didn't really master it, honestly, at all in these 4 nails. But I feel like I'm having a better time with this. I don't know why. This is a little bit better. Okay, so now we're going to throw another geometric shape in. We got to go with something bright. Now, we'll give you a tip. Every time you go with a strong contrasting color, you're going to see the sharpness more. So the better you want to be at that sharpness. Okay, let's go. I love this brilliant orange, I must say. Absolutely love it. So let's see what this brilliant orange does for us. Now I want to take it right to here. Now if I do this high over the purple was such a really nice straight edge that even if I just put this blob on there when I file it, the orange will be nice and crisp against that purple. But the purple has to be higher than the orange. That's the trick. Does that make sense? Now this, I think I want to bring this orange right to the side here. I don't know which way. I think I'm going to go straight with it. And I think it needs to go right up high. See that? I want to go really high. I don't know what it's going to look like when I file it, but I'm going to go really straight right there. I think I need to go higher with the orange, eh? I'm going to put that guy right there. I mean, I got to go this long. I think extending the orange out might be a good idea. I'm not confident about this in here. One thing you can do is you can actually put a few pieces in. If you're not sure, you could file it, crisp it, and then add some if you like. You could do that, but I'm going to not do that because I don't want to take the time to do that and just trust myself and see what it turns out like in all the mistakes. I'm going to put another bead of orange and get it nice and high. Now, I'll be filing a lot of this, but just want to make sure it's there. I'm liking that block of color there. Sorry, I'm just going to look at it this way for a sec. That's not bad. I'm not 100% convinced, but that's not too bad. Okay, so maybe I'll do another little thing over here. Maybe we get some green going on back here. Green next to the pink, would that look good? Yep. Maybe just put a little, maybe I'll make it even with the pink. It's not very big, is it? Okay, I'm gonna squish it right up and make it considerably smaller just to get it nice and tall. So one thing I noticed that I'm doing is I'm actually doing a lot of little squares. Now I did learn, see this one here? Where I did lots, I had an idea and I kind of went for it. I learned some things, but I then started to realize bigger squares are a little more forgiving. The littler you do, the more details, and the more those lines bounce off of each other and show more flaws. So I went bigger squares here, and this one looks a little bit better. It's a little more forgiving. And this one too. It looks kind of cool with the bigger squares. And then this one is, I actually quite like the pinky with its geometric design. It's quite pretty. So I was going to do bigger ones here because it's a thumb, but I find I'm doing these little ones. So I kind of broke my own rule, which means I'm going to be really comparing those lines back to back, right? Okay, I'm going to go in with a blue square, I think, near the cuticle and just fill in that whole area. So if it's too big, I can just take some away, but I'm going to lay that guy right in there, minus this little fine fabric hair. So I want to make sure that my cuticle is nice and thin. So I got to make sure that that's happy. Now it's okay if it's going to go over the green because I believe the green is high enough. So I'm just going to make sure it's really, really square, flush against here. That may not be the way to go, but that's what I seem to be doing. I don't think I'm going to use the knife, because I think I can get it pretty square and straight in there. It's pretty high, so the filing will take care of some of that. Honestly, that was the easiest one we did, wasn't it? Okay, so I might leave this to join with this. So whatever color I put in here is just going to be one L-shaped color. I clearly didn't have any plan. I was just kind of attacking it like total new, which I am. I was going to do like a yellow here, and I want to make sure that the yellow you wouldn't see that color below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only color I haven't done is yellow, so we're going to do yellow, and we're going to go this long right up in here. See how that lays in there. Here we go, yellow. What a gorgeous yellow. Look at that. Oh my goodness, I think it's much like my sweater. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that that cuticle is happy first. That's the most important area when you're doing any nail, but acrylic in particular, because it's going to cure. And I want to make sure that it's nice and flush in there. So you can see that it is going over top of the others, but that's okay. I'm going to file that. Ooh, it's really pretty, isn't it? But it wasn't quite enough to fill right to the little L shape. No, that's too big of a bead. I'm just going to smash it in there. maybe it wasn't too big, really. It's just gonna sit in there like that, and then I'm gonna file it and just cross my fingers at the same time, and hopefully it won't be too many. Like I say, I broke my rule. I did too many lines. It was sort of what I was thinking. Don't do so many lines. But I got carried away. That's why it's good to, practice and try these things, because what I'm learning now, I will be able to take if I'm ever faced with doing this kind of design. I will have a better understanding of what I like and what I don't like. Very interesting geometrics on this one. Okay, I really do like the pink. Maybe I want to bring that in here. I'm not so sure about this yellow going in there, but I don't know. Okay, I'm just going to bring the purple in this area here. And I think we'll do pink on the end. What do you think? Blue on the end? What do you think, Cameraman? Maybe blue on the end.
What was the choice?
Well, I've already got every color.
Blue would make it symmetrical.
Yeah, bring the blue down here.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do the little guy on the end.
And if I gave Susie bad advice, let me know in the comments.
Well, I mean, it is just an opinion. We don't know if it's going to work. We don't know if it's going to be good or not, right?
True enough.
So, I mean, you only know by trying. It's just a nail, right? It's like paint on a wall. You don't like it? Pick a different color and paint it over again. I've done that. Sometimes you got to just get in there and do it. Even, you're not 100% sure, but nobody's 100%. Are you 100% sure about everything you do when you do it, Cameraman?
Of course not.
I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Half the time I'm winging it. And that's what this is. I'm seriously winging this. It looks like a mess, but I'm going to learn something. I think the blue was a good choice because purple and blue go nice together. Okay, so the leftover next color is we can balance it with purple down here. We can't do pink, we can't do green, we can't do blue because, well, we could. But let's do purple, okay? Okay. So I'm just going to slip that purple in there. Now again, because what I'm putting it up against is pretty high, I don't have to get fancy with the edges there. I'm just focusing on the cuticle and then make sure that purple is totally in there on the side there. Just smash it up against the side. Okay. That's nicely balanced. I actually like that. It looks like a mess, but I actually like that. So I'm just going to let it cure and then we're going to file it. So these new colors that I have, they're kind of neon. You can see they're very neon and pretty, but I don't have names for them yet. So if you guys got any ideas, let me know in the comments below what you might name, the neon orange, for example. Just need to put all the lids on because I don't want to get me filey bits in there. That's the sound of done. So I'll take my form off. Just bring it underneath. Pinch it and bring it underneath. Okay, let's get our e-file going and start filing away. Okay, when I file the top, this cuticle here is pretty thick, so I've got to file this top part. Just don't even think of the color at this point. Just file the nail the shape that you want it to be. Don't think color, don't think whatever you put underneath there. Don't let that get in your way. Just file the nail that you normally would sculpt. And then your design will reveal itself. Not to say you might not like it. You'll find out once you start filing, you'll be like, oh. But that's how we learn, right? I mean, when I was doing Frenches, that's how I learned. I would just do it. Oops, I didn't like how I, went up on the one side, and then for next time you don't want to do that. Okay. So it's getting down to the nail that I want. I think I'm going to get some hand filing in here to get some shapes going for us. I do want these pretty squares, so I'm going to make it as square as I can. Square up that free edge. Square up this side. Okay, so these are just the colors. Now, if you file it thin and you think, oh, I didn't really want to go that thin, you can always put a clear cap on top. It just depends on how thick you made those colors already from the beginning. So once you get your color and you establish the design, you totally can clear cap it and make it a bit thicker if you didn't get the thick nail that you wanted. Or the thick enough nail. We don't want thick nails, but you know, the proper structure, right? Okay, so what mess have I created here? Let's get a closer look. Okay, It is on the thinner side. The free edge is nice and thin. I do like that. That it's very, very thin up there. That's pretty good. I don't want it any thinner. For the free edge part, that is. Now for all this in here, that didn't shape up too bad. I don't know what's happening in here. It maybe is not filed down enough. Okay, let's get a smoother file and see if we can. It might not be so bad, Cameraman.
Of course it's not going to be bad.
Well, I wasn't happy with some of those. That's another thing. Don't set your expectations so high. Bring it down a little because maybe the expectation is a little too high and then you're disappointed with whatever accomplishment you did make, right? So try not to be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some room to grow there and learn. Give yourself some pat on the back for some things that you did. Okay. Well, let's dust it off. Have a little look-see. Not too bad. It's a little rough over here, but it's not too bad. Again, I think I would have been a little straighter if I need to file a little bit smoother. If I was able to do this on a person, then would have had my angles a little bit better. And that's one thing that I learned. If I'm going to do something like this, maybe not on myself is maybe the best idea as I'm learning. Well, that's, obviously that's one way to learn as well. But for me to accomplish more symmetry, I think is what I'm saying, than having a person to work on would have been good. Cameraman, you're getting a set of these before the weekend.
Okay.
Okay, I'm actually liking it. I think we may need top coat. Okay, we're going to get a reveal coat on there just as soon as I'm happy here. I'm going to put a reveal coat on all of them. Okay, let's get a top coat on these guys. Get rid of all that dust. Okay, let's balance it on here. Okay, let's get a nice shiny top coat on here. I've got my reveal. I call it reveal because we always do it just before the reveal pictures. See all my mistakes. But you know what? I need to make those mistakes to get closer and closer to the final outcome of what my goal was, right? Like I say, I've never done this before, so of course I see all my mistakes. But I see some things I did good as well. Okay, I'm gonna nuke these. Okay, check out the reveals. Okay, just give it a little dab of oil near the cuticle, make it nice. And I did do that before the reveal shot, so you see that they're nice. So, because we do the reveal shots after we actually take them after. So the only way I can get better is if I really, truly am honest with myself and examine it. And of course, we're always quicker to say what we don't like, but there are good things too. So we did the thumb together, so we're just gonna talk about that specifically. But you know when I did do the knife cutting, that made that edge really sharp. Look at that. See that sharp edge on the pink?
That's really good.
That's brilliant. That was knife, right? And this was knife. That's pretty sharp too. A little harder to tell because it's against the purple. But I didn't do a very good job here. Look at that bleed, right? I don't know how I quite did that. So obviously I must have put the yellow on top and hidden that blue. So I didn't see it. And when you file it, because you're making it all level, right? And this is kind of faded. It's kind of cool looking. I do like the blur there between the yellow and the purple, but that wasn't my intention. Happy mistake? I don't know if I can get away with it with this design because I wasn't really meaning. And these didn't really line up. I should have made the purple in level with the blue. So then I could have brought the orange completely down here like that and make it just one chunk rather than having these different corners kind of meeting up. They're not very good together.
I think if the lines were sharp, you could have it jutting out like that. I think it would create a neat pattern, but
yes, true.
But
you're right.
It shouldn't be soft. It should be crisp looking.
Yeah, like that's horrible. Like that's terrible. But I learned a valuable mistake there. I learned a valuable technique, and that is the knife thing was good. So maybe just focus on your one color that you put down first. Make sure you get it perfect and do cut the sides because it really seemed to benefit it there. I mean, so not all these, like this one between the blue and the orange. Can you see that there, Cameraman?
Oh, yeah. No, that looks really good.
That's really crisp. And that was freehand, if I remember correctly. I think I did that one freehand, which is good. And this one's not too bad either. That's freehand as well.
It's a little soft. There's a little shadow to it.
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's not too bad, though, for freehand. But this definitely is nice. So, it's a technique you really got to get practice with. And, that's what I learned with these ones, too, is this I was overconfident and just did too much. And I kind of let myself down. And that's when I did this and realized, just do bigger ones. You don't have to, because when it goes so little, too, it looks like a quilt or something. And that's not really my intention. It was more abstract, So, yeah, what a neat technique. It's so much fun. I learned a lot with this. I'd love to, this is ambitious, but a black and white design. Ooh, it would be so pretty. I got to find a guinea pig. Okay, Cameraman, how do you feel about black and white?
Well, black and white's always nice, yeah.
He'll be sporting a set before the end of the week. Thanks for joining me, you guys. I'll catch you in the next video.